Hi, this is Brian Aldrich from 4th Street Software, and today I'm going to show you how to play a game with a 4th Street baseball game. Alright, now, at this point, this program is a helper program, so it's designed really to accompany the 4th Street board game version of the baseball game. However, you really don't need the board game to play it. You can play it as a computer game. It's a little unconventional in that respect right now, but let me show you how it's done and we'll go from there. It would help if you're familiar with the 4th Street board game version of this, as it does use result codes, but you'll see that those result codes are very logical and very easy to follow once you understand what the logic is behind them. Alright, so I have opened this up. This is a league that I have created. It's called the Yankee League from 1960. And I've got all these teams set up with their 25-man rosters. Right now the calendar is showing April 1st, and we can see those games have already been played because they already have scores associated with them. We're going to go ahead and jump to May 28th, which is the next day that actually has a game associated with it. So we see the New York Giants against the Chicago Black Sox. And Chicago is right now leading the division, the Allen division here, with a 25-21 record. The Giants are in second place, 5 games behind at 18-24. All right, so we'll go ahead and hit ready there. Down in the lower left, we can see some game notes. Billy Odell is out for 13 more games for the Giants, and Sandy Koufax also is on the disabled list at this time. All right, I'm going to switch ahead to the rotations here, and you can see this is day 149 on our schedule. So it just happens that May 28th is day 149 in the 1960 calendar. And so if I look, I can tell when all these guys have last pitched. Chuck Estrada last pitched on day 139, so he's had 10 days of rest here. He should be ready to go. On the Black Sox roster, we have Bob Turley, who hasn't pitched since day 143. So these guys are fully rested. They have 0 here as their fatigue, so that's why they're colored green. In the next column over, you see a season fatigue. Season fatigue mounts as guys pitch a little bit too much. So, for example, if I went back to Lou Burdett and threw him today, and he would be my number 2 choice as a starter today for this game, Lou Burdett would automatically receive a penalty of 12 pitches under his season fatigue. Once that level is reached 100, a guy is placed on the disabled list. He has been overused, his pitching arm is tired, and so we want to avoid doing that whenever possible. But we have 2 viable options here today in Estrada and Turley. So I'm going to go back to the Giants roster here. I've got a preset lineup already made that I've been using all season long. So we'll go ahead. I don't have a DH system in this league, so that's why the use DH is disabled. And we'll go ahead and put Estrada in as batting 9th and pitching. And on the other team, I've already forgotten who. Bob Turley, I guess, is my starter here. We'll do the same sort of thing. Here's Turley. All my batting slots have been filled, and if I look at the field, I can see that all 9 positions or 8 positions in the pitcher are accounted for and filled. All right, down on the lower part here, I can see how many of each type of player there are on this roster right now. We only have 24, even though it's able to dress 25 because, again, Koufax is out with an injury. If I need a little bit more of a look at a player, for example, Hal Smith, the catcher, I can display his card up here on the screen and see what he's got as far as values go and grades. All right, we are now ready to begin. So I'm going to click on OK, and right away this loads the ballpark for the Black Sox up here. And we've got all of our lineups on the left and right side. Depending upon your excuse me, your screen size, you may be able to see a few more of the players on the bench. So this is the Giants bench over here, the Black Sox bench over there. Down at the bottom, we have the pitchers, all the pitchers that are on this team and are still there. So, for example, if I look here, I won't see Koufax because he is injured today, so he's unavailable. Scoreboard up here, I can see some stats by pressing this button. Here's the same pitching rotation button I saw before. Helps me out with knowing what relief pitcher to bring in if I need to. And everything's ready. The weather today on May 28th, 1960, it's calm, mild, and there is a good chance of rain. So we can see that up here in the scoreboard. So later on today, we might have a little bit of rain issue. That's why some of the dice are showing that generated the results for those, and one of them must have come up here, otherwise we wouldn't have that. All right, so I think that's about all we need to know. We can go ahead and start the game. It is the top half of the first inning, so we'll begin the game. And Louis Aparicio is up to bat. Okay, now first of all, before we go any further, down here below Aparicio are his numbers for this season replay. He's batting .281 on the season with 1 home run and 10 RBI. And if you don't rightly know exactly what those numbers are, you can just hover the mouse over like there are on all sorts of things here to see them. If you want to toggle back and forth, he is not actually batted today, so he's 0 for 0. And during the real regular season, Aparicio batted .277 with 2 homers and 61 RBI. I'm going to bring it back to this level here so we have that. Also, if I want to get a sneak peek at what Aparicio's card looks like, I can double click on him. First of all, those are his actual numbers from the 1960 season, so we can see a tooltip there for it. If I double click on Louis over here, it'll show us what his card looks like. All right, so again, it helps if you have played 4th Street baseball before, the board game version of it. It helps a little bit with knowing what some of the nuances of the game are. This game is very much based upon the ball strike count. So here we go. Bob Turley is a pretty decent pitcher. You can see that by his record here. He had a 3.27 ERA and was 9-3. Did do a little bit of relieving back then too. So I'm just going to press the Get Count key, and down in the lower inside the play-by-play area, it announces that it's a 3-0 count to Aparicio. Also shows that on the scoreboard here. So we've got 3 lights on the ball, none on the strike, no outs. And as you can see, there was a dice roll here. 97 refers to the ball strike count, which would have been on the batter because it exceeded the 79 range that is there. So if I actually look on Aparicio across from 97, that's where that 3-0 count came from. So the batter has some effect upon what the ball strike count will be based upon his patience. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and select a pitch. So there's a penalty here, depending on whether you guess fastball or breaking ball and get it wrong. But I'm going to have the computer do that for me. So we'll select a random pitch thrown by Turley. The batter will also select a random pitch, so it's not a 50-50 chance. It does depend upon the grades that Turley possesses. As you can see, he's a little bit better with the breaking ball than he is the fastball. So we'll just go ahead and select a random pitch. He has thrown a breaking, or the batter has guessed a breaking ball. We go ahead and swing away, and we get a 10. Now, a 10, by the way, Turley threw a breaking ball here, so Aparicio guessed correctly. A 10 is a single. and he hit it right back to the pitcher. That's what this matchup goes by. The little gold dot indicates that Aparicio won the matchup. His grade was 20 after all of the adjustments that are listed up here. So as you can see, Aparicio's grade versus infielders against right-handed pitchers is a 15. He had a +3 ball strike because it was a 3-0 count, so +3 there. He guessed correctly on the pitch, so that added an additional 2. So 15, 3, and 2 adds up to 20. Turley is only a 3, so 20 minus 3 is 17. Anything on the D20, 17 or less, in this case 13, means that Aparicio wins the matchup. So the reading was actually read off from Aparicio's versus infield column across from number 10. So that shows a 10, which is a single hit to the defender that was in the matchup, in this case Bob Turley. So Aparicio gets an infield hit. He probably hit it hard enough that Turley knocked it down but couldn't make a play on. All right, we'll reset that. Now, we have a runner on at first. Aparicio has a run rating of 15. The bonus there at this time doesn't count because the ball hasn't been hit to an outfielder. The 17 is his steal percentage of making it out of 20. These are all out of 20, as was the case with the hit that we just saw here a little bit ago. Now, Louis can get a pretty good jump here. That's what his 19 is. So 19 times out of 20, he can get a good jump. And then if successful, he has a 1 in 16 chance of making it. So that's pretty good odds. And part of that is helped by the fact that the catcher, in this case, has an arm of +1. So in other words, Elston Howard has an arm rating of +1. So that's a little below average. All right, but first, you just can't steal willy-nilly. We have to get the count here first. Well, 1-1 count isn't a bad one to steal on. It's not a great one, but it's not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and try a steal, even though Mickey Mantle is up to bat and everybody knows he's awesome. But this, in our replay, he's actually had a little bit of trouble. He's got 7 home runs, but he's only hitting .245. So we'll go ahead and try a steal here. And now the defense gets to select also. Depending on what you want to do here, we can throw a pitch out, or we can just throw a random pitch, so on and so forth. We can throw a fastball, a breaking ball. We can charge in case we think there might be a bunt on, charge the corners, so on and so forth. So there's all kinds of possibilities. And oh yeah, by the way, if I screw up, and I really didn't want to steal, then I can hit cancel and go back, and the offense can select again. But we're just going to select a random pitch here. Pretend we don't know, and the AI eventually will take care of that. Right now, there is no AI involved in this game as of today's date, which is September 4th, 2016. But you need to remember this is a beta version of the program, and it eventually will be a major part of the program. So let's pick a random pitch. Okay, we got a 1-1 count. We'll roll the dice, and he did get a good jump. The die roll was 12, 1 to 7, and now we have a chance of 1 to 17 to make that. So let's go ahead and try to throw him out. It's a breaking pitch. He is out. So we got an 18. So Elston Howard threw a BB down to second base, and Louis Aparicio is out at second. The pitch was a ball, and now Mantle has a 2-1 count on him. In case you're wondering about the count, that is also controlled by dice roll here. The odds of a pitch being a striker are a little bit greater than a ball, so there is no take sign here for the most part. Although when you steal by design, that is a take. So if Mantle had a say a 2-strike count on him of any sort, 2-2, 1-2, 0-2, 3-2, he would have taken a pitch, and if it was a strike, it would have been a strikeout. So that's why you have to be a little bit careful calling for a steal. All right, so Mickey Mantle is up. We're going to random pitch again here on a 2-1 count, and I hit it here to Boyer, and that is Ken Boyer. Ken Boyer plays third base. Great fielder, but this time we have gotten a 5, which is not good for Ken. That means a 1 to 15 chance that he will commit an error. He actually won the matchup here, but errors are on the fielder cards. And he did get away with it. So we have a 19. So Boyer was able to collect himself and throw a 5-3 put out over there to Bill White. So there are now 2 away, and Joe Adcock is up. Nobody on. Go ahead. We got a 1-2 count. Random pitch. By the way, you may have noticed the fielders have been shifted over to the left a little bit. That is because Adcock has a pull rating of -1 against right-handed pitchers. So straight away for the center fielder, for example, would be right here at H7 to 9. Okay, we're moving him over 1 to account for that little pull rating that Adcock has. The infielders also have been shifted to the left somewhat. All right, so here we go. We got a 1-2 count on Adcock with 2 outs. Random pitch, and he wallops another hit to the pitcher. So Turley can't field this one either. And now we have a runner on at first. Now before I hit reset, you may have noticed over here is a whole bunch of stuff. This gives information about the fielders on the field here right now. This little 4-directional thing here, the compass, if you will, has 3 of the areas marked in black, 1 of them in red. And what that means is that Fox was playing a little bit. He was shading to his left, and that's why he isn't playing straight up. Again, when I hit reset, it's going to reset that depending upon who the next batter is. So he is presently in lane I2. There's an auto check mark up here. So what that will do is the computer will automatically place the fielders depending upon the pull rating of the batter. Down here below, we have hold keys for runners on first, second, and third. Now, that's another thing that you can set automatically in the preferences that it was shown earlier. Okay, so that was set, and now we've put a check mark there, meaning that Adcock is being held. If we decide we don't want him held, we just click on it, and you'll notice that the first baseman moves into position to field the ball. Well, he is a little bit close there to where he should be. I can click on this to override the automatic, and that puts him in more in line with where he should be. Henry has a pull rating of -2, but that actually doesn't show up here until we get the count. So once we got a count, we can see that the fielders are shaded way over to the left. By the way, the range on the pull is from -2, which was typically for right-handed batters, to +2, which is typical for a pulling left-handed batter. Okay, we have a 0-0 count with 2 outs. 0-0, 2 count, 2 outs. And we're going to go ahead and pick our random pitches. And right here, he is versus a pitcher. So quite often they are. What that means is it's very dependent upon walks and strikeouts. So if we look at Turley on his matchup card, anything from a 0 to 99 roll between 51, he's a right-handed hitter, 51 to 95 is going to be versus the pitcher. Now, not necessarily hit to the pitcher, but a ball strike type thing, so either a walk or a strikeout. Now, in this case, Aaron has won the matchup, so he's less likely to strike out, more likely to walk. That doesn't mean he's going to walk. And in fact, in this case, we have a 4. So if we add that up, by the way, this is roll 2, roll 3, roll 4. We double click on that. It's 88, which is a fly ball to center field. And that is out 3. So there's 3 outs in the inning. We reset, and now it's the Black Sox turn to come up to bat. All right, so the Giants got 2 hits in that inning. They scored no runs. And here we go. Let's go with Fox. Nellie Fox is up to bat against Chuck Estrada. Get the count. It's a 1-2 count. This time let's play around with the fastball breaking ball a little bit. So it's a 1-2 count. Let's say Fox is guessing breaking ball. If I'm playing by myself, I probably don't want to control what the pitcher does. We'll let the computer do that. So random pitch, and here it is. Swing away. Estrada threw a fastball. I was expecting a breaking ball, so I have a -2 penalty there. And I was already behind in the count, too. So that's where this 14 came from. 17 on Fox's versus infield against right-handed pitcher column. And then -1 and -2 respectively. So it breaks it down to 14. It's hit to Ken Aspromonte. Aspromonte won the matchup, apparently, because the die roll was a 13. So 14 take away 6 is 8. Anything over 8 is won by the defensive player. We have a dice roll of 5. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 is 74. That means it's a ground out to second base. So 4-3 put out. We have 1 away. Now Dick Grote is up to bat. Swing away here. We'll just do random pitches on this one. So we have a 1-0 count. And Grote hits fly ball to center field. That's Mickey Mantle. 2 down. Bill White, who's had an amazing season so far. He's hitting .331 with 9 homers and 30 runs batted in. He is an 0-2 count against him this time. Now Chuck Estrada is ahead in the count. We'll go ahead and do a pair of random pitches. And even though he got ahead on the count, he ended up losing him. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 44, which is a walk. All right, all these result codes are in the help file, so they can be looked up quickly and easily. Okay, so now we have runner on first, and we'll reset this. Ken Boyer is up to bat. 3-2 count. Now, we can send the runners here, although in truth, because it's a 3-2 count with 2 out, they'll go automatically, but we'll select that anyway. It will also select a random pitch for you then. So we got a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. And we've got an 8. So 8, let's see, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this becomes very easy to figure out after a while with the dice roll. 43, which unfortunately for Kenny Boyer and the Black Sox is a strikeout. All right, we'll reset that. And that is how the game is played. Now, there are other results too. I'm going to show you one here. This is something that wouldn't pop up on the game screen for anybody. But I'm going to make a ballpark effect here just so you can see what would happen in that case. So let's send Harmon Killebrew up. We'll get the count up. And here we have a 15-minute rain delay. So both the pitchers had their grades reduced a little bit because of the rain delay. It wasn't a huge rain delay, so not a huge penalty, just 1 point on each of them. And that is reflected in their current grades here down below their name. Couple other things here, as long as we're in that vicinity, this is the pitches in the at-bat. Number of balls thrown by Turley, strikes, and total pitches. He has a fatigue level set at 98, which means once he reaches 98, Turley is going to start to maybe wobble a little bit. This is the number of batters faced that he has had. Since the fatigue system I'm using is by pitches, that shows the number of pitches that his fatigue will get to. If I was using the endurance system instead, it would show a number up here like 26 or something like that for the number of batters faced that he might have before that level is reached. All right, let's go along with Herman's at bat here. So we'll do a couple of those. And I'm going to just hide that frame again here because the result's already been generated. We had a line drive hit. You can see the ball there sitting pretty close to the right fielder. And the ball was hit in lane, let's see, 69, although Killebrew pulls a little bit here. Actually, I guess it's 86. There we go. So it was in lane M, and he had a -3 pull rating. I guess it is a little bit more than +2, -2. So it was hit to J, and the level that it was hit was to 9, level 9. But anyway, the fielder could not pick that one up, and so it is a base hit. Alright, so reset that. Now, if you look here, you can also see that Killebrew can actually try to stretch that hit into a double. So we can try to advance the runner, and I think I'll try to do that just for fun. So we should see Kirkland trying to throw him out, and he is out at second. So a nice strong throw by Willie Kirkland to nail Killebrew at second base, 1 away. All right, let's do another little ballpark effect here. So we'll go with Yogi this time. All right, and Yogi also drills a single, this time closer to the second base, but it goes past Fox, and Berra finds himself on at first. No opportunity to stretch it this time, so Yogi just stays put at first base. And now we have Jimmy Pearsall. We're going to do another one here. This time I'm going to put in a rather larger number. Let's go 15. See what happens. There it is. We have a 40. Okay, now what that means is that this ball is hit out of the park. So as you see, we have a 15 here in the die roll. Pearsall has a power rating of 0 against right-handed pitchers. And so this ball is hit right about there, which is over the fence. Home run to left field. That's kind of how the game plays. And if you need to make a substitution or what have you, maybe Turley is not doing so well, so you want to take him out, we're just going to go ahead and put in a relief pitcher. Let's put in Don Elston. Can just put him right here. And depending upon if the team is up to bat or out in the field, you might have to change the position. So let's say that we put in Turk Farrell instead. We'll put him into Boyer's spot. So he's a pitcher, and it automatically found that one. We'll put Vic Power in at third base into the 9th slot. And there we have it. Okay, everybody's ready to go. If I had put him in left field instead, if I press that, it's going to give you a little warning here, just telling you that you need to make a substitution. By substitution, I mean, in this case, a position change. And now it'll let me go ahead and play the game and resume. If you'd like to see how things are coming along here, you can click on Display Stats. It'll generate a box score for you automatically. Right now we are in the second inning, bottom of the second, I believe. Maybe it was the top of the second. Doesn't matter, I guess. Anyway, there's been 2 runs scored. Down below, by the way, whether a run is earned or unearned They'll all be earned until the conclusion of an inning, at which time a routine will sort things out and see whether a run is earned or unearned.